Yeah, I don't know. This book just doesn't seem that interesting so far. Yeah. Okay, so as the theme song told you, today's book is The Savage Song by Victoria Schwab. I have had this book for a very long time. I got it during quarantine of last year, and yeah, I never got the opportunity to read it, so I'm reading it now. I'm also planning on reading the sequel because this is duology. The second book is called Our Dark Duets. Not that I don't love the title This Savage Song, but right now that's the best aspect of the book. Yeah, I don't know. It's like kind of confusing. It doesn't explain that many things, and it's kind of boring. Like I get the general idea, but the only reason why I do is because I had to search up the book. So yeah, it's a bit confusing. So it's not living up to my expectations so far. I hope that changes. How many pages? 417. I'm on page 24, so I'm not doing that well. I'll probably try to read until like page 200 this week or something. I also really like the cover page. But yeah. Besides those two aspects, the title and the cover page, I'm not enjoying it that much. Hopefully it gets more interesting. I'm on chapter 4. Yeah, nothing has really happened. I do have some quotes that I like and stuff. I'm not going to discuss those in this video because I have the notes on the phone that I'm filming on. I just wanted to do like an intro clip, so that's what this is. But I guess maybe after I read like to chapter 10, which will hopefully be like tomorrow or something, by tomorrow, then I'll make a video again. Hey everyone. Yes, it's pretty late slash early in the day. If you were to ask me why I'm up this early slash late, I'd say I had a dream that was pretty scary. Plus I went to bed pretty early, so now I want to go back to bed. This fine morning, we will be discussing verse 1. The book is kind of confusing, but it's like interesting enough for me to continue going. I have a lot of quotes, so there's no doubt that she's a good writer, at least in terms of crafting sentences that are memorable. Because then it says, and he could understand the city pulling at him through the walls. Why do I keep making mistakes? And then you can understand the pulling. Oh, I think it's pulling at him through the walls. Now talking about August, I think this may be in the first chapter that we hear about August. Then it says, he straightened out and found his gaze in the mirror, but his expression stared back with a vacancy that made him shudder. I really like that. It sounds very nice. Also, Kate, the other main character, looked at herself in a mirror, so maybe like mirrors are a repeated motif or symbol of some kind. So then there's a fact that I hadn't really thought about, but I agree with. Truth wasn't the same as fact, it was personal. What you think is the truth is different than what is fact. Like, that somebody loves you, you believe is the truth. A fact is, spiders mostly have 6 legs. I think 6 legs. So yeah, it's definitely different. So then, I'm guessing August's, I guess like adopted brother, literally touched his violin, and I said in all caps, you do not touch his instrument. I don't like it when people touch my instrument, so I will not allow August to be treated as badly as I was. This is pretty cool. So basically, August plays the violin. He is a Sunai monster, which I know has something to do with playing music. And when he plays music, people die. Basically, it's kind of interesting. So there's a lot of like music in this book, which is cool because yeah, it's been a while since I actually like have had a main character that plays an instrument. Like, thinking about it, I want to say like none of the books I've read this year for Star Wars speculation have had main characters that play an instrument. At least that it was mentioned. August blended in with the heavy foot traffic as he made his way north, the north of the city, like music around him, full of harmony and dissonance, rhythm and clash. Since he's a musician, he kind of, I don't know, sees everything, not everything, but like a lot of things musically. That was really cool. I know this book isn't in third person, but I feel like it kind of changed perspectives, and we kind of get insight about what the characters are feeling, even if it's not directly in their perspective. So, yeah. So then I think I mentioned that the monsters are only created in Verity, which is like the main city, and I'm wondering why. Like, how did this happen? I want to learn more about the phenomenon. If anything, I'm guessing it'll be in the second book, but I hope I'll get it sooner. Can I put this down, please? Let's see. I know, my lights look so cool, huh? When people talked about the first day of school, they used terms like fresh start and new beginning, and always made a point of saying it was like a chance to define or redefine yourself. In Kate's eyes, can you hear me? You may not hear me. In Kate's eyes, the first day was an opportunity. Once she'd taken advantage of it at each, once she'd taken advantage of, is that correct grammar? Once she had taken advantage of it at each of her previous institutions. And those first days felt like an education onto themselves, leading up to this. Her first day at Colton was a chance to set the tone, a chance to make an impression. She had the added advantage of being on home turf. People might not know her, but they all knew of her, and that was better. It was a foundation, something to be built upon. By the end of the week, Colton would be hers. After all, if she couldn't rule a school, she didn't deserve to run a city. And then I just said, oh, this is cool, I'm warming up to it. Yeah, it kind of got cooler. Like, imagine wanting to be bad and, like, fully milking it. Like, wanting people to think that you're bad. Just like the idea. And I said I should change my story to be more like this, modern with pieces of fantasy instead of world building to a scary amount. Yeah, I'm working on a book, and yeah, I've it's really hard for me to think about all the world building that I have to do, but I had an epiphany after reading this book, or while reading this book. There's no need to do that much world building. I can make it kind of like real life, modern day life. It doesn't have to be so fantasist. There must be a fantasiest. That's definitely not a word. Fanciful. Is that the? I don't know. I don't know. And then I had a prediction that the tally marks on August's body were how many people he has killed. And then his brother says that the tallies represent days, but I'm wondering days of what? So then I thought, is eating humans have to get nourishment, and can they intentionally cause conflict just to eat? So yeah, it's real confusing so far. And he mentioned like 437, I think, or 400 and something days. I don't know what those days are. Maybe it's the days he's been a human, but that's pretty young. Or like the days he's been like quote unquote alive. But yeah, that is pretty young. That's like almost, that's only a little over a year. But again, August wasn't really born. He was like just built into a 12-year-old body, which is kind of interesting. So yeah, it's all fuzzy. Hopefully they'll explain that later because I'm confused. Yeah, I'll probably make a video every single verse that I read. I'm hoping to finish this like ideally today. That probably won't happen, but I'm on page 123 out of 427 pages. So I definitely won't finish it today, but hopefully I'll get to like, maybe I'll try to read the entirety of verse 2 or not. We'll see. But thank you so much. Yeah, we'll probably make, I don't know how many verses there are, but I'll probably just make a video for every verse. Trying not to talk too much too excessively. Video should be 30 minutes or less. That's my unspoken new rule. But right now, I'm gonna edit a video. And then act before I'm gonna start doing some schoolwork. Hi, just so you know, I just finished the third part of this Savage song. Since I don't have that much storage and I want to film for the movie I'm doing for winter break, I'm not going to videotape my reaction to the 2 parts right now. I'll probably just finish the book, and then when I get home, film a long video for sections 2, 3, and 4. I believe there are only 4 for sections and all. But yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. I didn't like it that much at the beginning because it was kind of confusing. It still kind of is, but like it's not confusing enough for me to stop because like the plot is interesting. I think I already said this. Things are heating up, or at least things just heated up. It's a pretty binge-worthy book, I feel like. Yeah. Guess what? I finished this Savage song. Yay! It took me, I hope, like less than 3 weeks, but I'm not really sure how long specifically, but this will probably be the second to last or third to last clip for this series. Yeah, it was pretty good. Okay. Alright. I will see you after I read verse 2. Hi. As you also know by now, I finished this Savage song. I finished it a while ago, generally speaking, 15 days ago. And 15 days ago was also when I made the last video for the Savage song. I've been itching to film this final video for it, so I want to get started. I may have mentioned this before, but I just need to rave about this title and the book cover. It just looks so cool. I really like how it looks. Yeah, like this Savage song. Have you heard of a better title? And also, yeah, the cover page. I love it. It's probably like, it's the first thing that I noticed, the only thing I noticed, the only thing I thought about when buying this book at Barnes & Noble. That was a pretty long time ago. It was 2020. It is 2022 now, so 2 years ago. That's crazy to think about. I got it. Buy one, get one 50% off. What was the other book I got it with? I want to say maybe Punching the Air by Ibby's a Boy, which I actually ended up returning, but that may be not right. I think that's actually not right. I'm not sure what book I got with it, but I think I bought 2 just to utilize the buy one, get one 50% off thing. I think. Irrelevant. We going to talk. Last long video I made, I discussed verse 1, and now I'm going to be talking about verse 2, 3, and 4. I believe there are only 4 verses. Okay. Since I read this book 15 days ago, or I finished this book 15 days ago, I don't remember the context of many of these quotes, but I'm going to try to search my memory until it makes sense to me, I guess. Another quote. The beautiful thing about books was that anyone could open them. That's probably connected probably with the author's own thoughts, given that she's an author. Yeah. I also heard somebody say the reason why they read books is because you'll never be done. There like are always more books to read. So there's like, it's infinite, which is great. So yeah, I agree with both of those. Okay. I'll just reiterating with myself. I said, so Henry's the dad and Leo's the brother. The first name basis for every character is confusing me. Yeah, every single character in this book is called by their first name. It doesn't say dad or mom or anything. So it is kind of confusing. But I got used to it. Leo is the brother of August, and Henry is August's dad, quote unquote. Oh, I should have said brother, quote unquote, as well. Another quote, August stood staring, trying to understand what made men break like this. Not in a physical way, human bodies were brittle, but heart and soul, what made them jump, fall, even when they knew there was no ground beneath. That sounds real good. It's so interesting, like, I consider August a person. He's more, what's the word? Humane than lots of people that I know. Not lots of people, but, like, I'm sure some people that I know.
Then I said, this is so confusing, my goodness. Yeah, it was kind of confusing. Like, it took me a while to get adjusted to the world. I'm still not 100% on everything, but as I read along, it got a bit more clear. So then my guess was, okay, so the marks represent the days since they were born or the last time they killed lots of people without remorse or restraint or really awareness. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is it. Actually, I'm positive at this point. So it wasn't a guess, I was just writing it down so I could remember. It's pretty cool. So it's like kind of a sobriety marker or whatever. Quotes, he kept his eyes on the book but never turned the page. Seems like life. We move so slowly, we don't realize that we're moving at all. But we are. So then I said, oh my, that's kind of cocky. Freddie, excuse me, August said he doesn't play for anyone. Play for anyone like the violin. Then Kate says, I'm not anyone, I'm a Harker. Oh, then she says, you don't say no to me, not like that, which is really annoying. And then I wrote, chill down, bud, goodness. And then I said, nice reaction, August. It's 167 and 168. Let's get to that. He actually laughed a single icy bark and shook his head. You really believe that, don't you? That this whole city revolves around what you want because you have money and power and everyone's too afraid to tell you no. He leaned in. I know it's hard to believe, Kate, but not everything in this world is about you. He pulled back. Honestly, I thought you were better than this. I guess I was wrong. Oof. Oof. That's funny. Okay. Another quote. Freddie was doing that thing that people do, the flickering grin and nod when they want you to think they're paying attention, but they're not. First of all, typo, so oof. Second of all, I feel like this is relatable. I feel like it's relatable. Like, if somebody's talking to you, just like, even though, like, you don't even know what they're saying. I don't know what the typo is, though, and I didn't write down the page number, so. Freddie was doing the thing, oh, that's it. It says Freddie was doing the thing people do, but it's Freddie was doing the thing people do. Okay, and then I said, things are heating up. Kate knows August ain't human. And I'm pretty sure, if I have a good memory, this is potentially near the end of verse 2 when that happens. I don't know what I'm doing here. I feel like it's real boring just to hear me read all my notes, but I don't know what else to do. Like, obviously, after I read all my notes, I can give my final thoughts or whatever, but maybe I should just make my video just my final thoughts, make them shorter so you can actually have so there's actually a chance to actually finish the video. Because I know nobody wants to watch, like, an hour video about a single book, right? I'm pretty sure. Okay. Shrug. And I just wrote, okay, Leo, go away. I have no idea what happened, but Leo's real annoying most of the time, so he probably did something annoying. This was the opposite of peace. He felt alive, so alive, but tarnished. His senses screaming in his head a tangle of dark thoughts and feelings and power, and he was drowning and shivering and burning alive. He had to close his eyes and force air into his lungs until his sensations dulled and his mind stopped spiraling and he could drag it back into his head, back into his skin. When the room took shape around him again, the first thing he saw was the blood-covered knife. He felt a hand on his shoulder and saw Leo there beside him, looking proud. That sounds so nice. Also proves that Leo is terrible. It just reaffirms what we already knew. This book is kind of confusing, but interesting enough for me to keep reading. The plot is kind of muddy, at least in terms of the war and the politics or whatever, but the characters are pretty great. I just started reading the Kite Runner for English, and in that book, too, the main character really wants to please and be like their dad. Probably Kate more, though. Oh, Kyler. Oh, Kyler. I don't think so. I feel like Kate has a moral compass. And Amir doesn't. I mean, he does, but like, like if you read both these books, you know what I'm talking about, I hope. Quotes, hope flickered through me, followed immediately by distrust. And then my next note is, yay, halfway there. By this time, I was halfway through the book. Yay. And that was the last note I had for verse 2. This is good timing because my first long video for this series was also like 23 minutes, I believe. So I'm making good time. And I'm pretty sure, yeah. I think my commentary for verse 3 and 4 are shorter collectively than verse 1 and 2. So now we're on to verse 3. We start with a quote, and for the first time in his life, he wants to crawl back into the darkness of his dreams. I don't know what he's talking about. I'd love to live in my dreams. I mean, some of them are dark, and I don't want to live in those, but, like, most of my dreams are, like, better than real life. I'd love to do that. My guess is the random Malachi Harker has, who I can't remember the name of, is the big bad. Oops, she knows too, so now I don't feel so smart now. I'm thinking it's not him, maybe it's Harker himself. So yeah, I originally had the thought, maybe it's Sloan. That Sloan was the evil dude, and then a sentence later said, Kate said, I think it's Sloan. So I thought that may be like a red herring, but it ended up kind of being Sloan, and also kind of Harker himself as well. Another quote. Sound vibrated probably through the air as he drew a second sound, and then a third, the chords fusing together as they formed. The music was like a blade knifing through the dark. As a musician, I feel seen. Then I said typo on 262 exclamation point. Let's check it out. See if we can find it live on camera. 262. Ever since I searched up a video of a lion dying, I've stuck out my tongue when I yawned. At least without a mask. Okay, let's see. I can't find the typo. I'll do a case study on this exact page to try to find it. I don't know where it is. Okay, then I said 271, first third of the page, I guess. Okay, let's see. So Kate says, why would you ever want to be human? We're fragile, we die. Then August says, you also live. You don't spend every day wondering why you exist but don't feel real, why you look human but can't be. You don't do everything you can to be a good person, only to have it constantly thrown in your face that you're not a person at all. And then Kate kind of remembers what she was doing like 24 hours before the moment in the book, and she says, Victoria says, how had it only been a day? Yeah, sometimes I feel like, not today specifically, but sometimes I feel like 2 hours ago was like yesterday. Maybe not 2 hours, but like 10 hours ago was like yesterday. Like, it's real trippy. Of course, it can sometimes be yesterday. Like, for example, if I was thinking about that at 9:59 a.m., then 10 hours ago was yesterday. But yeah, I hope you get what I mean. Quote, Kate scrambled for the memory, but it was falling apart. It's like waking up too fast, the dream crumbling before you could grab the thread. She'd seen something, but she couldn't catch it. The pieces were broken again. I feel like that way too sometimes. Like, I have a dream, and then I wake up, and then I go back to sleep, and then I can barely remember it. And it's real annoying. It's really annoying. Like, I have so many quotes in here just because I like them, and I don't want to forget them, even though I'm definitely going to. But if I watch these videos, I'll be reminded. He couldn't remember ever being so tired. The ceiling swam in his vision, and a shiver passed through him like the cusp of a cold. And then, just as he was drifting off, the hunger started. This is kind of like an oh no part of the book because, as you may know, August feeds on, I guess, human violence or whatever. And him being hungry is not a good thing because that means he's gonna, like, kill a person soon, eat a person soon. August said it isn't safe, and Ela responded, safe, that is a pretty word. That sounds nice. Somebody says, it isn't safe, and then Ela says, safe, that is a pretty word. I could imagine this as a movie, not related. So I feel like Ela's point is, like, sure, safety is something that we all want, but, like, essentially, ultimately, it's not something we can control. So it's like, it's a pretty word. It's a nice word. Doesn't mean it's gonna happen. And despite everything, August smiled. And that's the end of my notes for verse 3. I told you they were shorter, so now we're on verse 4. I was kind of confused. So basically they go into the house that Kate and her mother lived in at a point, and August goes to the bathtub for some reason. And I don't think he went dark, but, like, I don't know. He was, like, really tired, or, like, it was just confusing. It seemed like he was, but he hadn't. It was just, I didn't like it. Quotes, why are there so many shadows in the world, Kate? Shouldn't there be just as much light? Indeed, August, indeed. I really like, and I also don't like, how suspenseful these few chapters are. Like chapter 2 and 3, I guess, and like 4 and 5 or whatever of verse 4. They switch perspectives, and like it's a climax from one person's perspective, and then they just switch it. So I don't like it, but I like it. So, next note I have. No, the violin is broken. Yeah, somebody literally broke the violin, and it made me pretty sure I literally cringed. Like that or something. You do not. If I ever saw a violin, or sorry, any instrument being broken in front of me, I'd really be considering giving the person that broke it a big maybe not a big one, but like a small one. I'd just be really angry. Same thing happened with me when I watched the movie Coco, when Abuela crushed the guitar. That's why she's my least favorite character. Okay, home stretch here. Typo and confusion, 382. Yeah, you know what? Just read it yourself. Get the not the hardback or the hardcover, the paperback version of this severed song. Go to page 382, and you can try to find the typo and also tell me if it was confusing for you as it was for me. If it was as confusing for you as it was for me, yeah. Okay, so I'm guessing since there's a second book, Leo's gonna die. That makes no sense. I think I may have wanted to say Leo's not gonna die. But maybe I didn't mean Leo's gonna die. But yeah, Leo did die. His brother killed him. So that's nice. And then he kills his probably future girlfriend's father. So that's nice. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay. Alice, who was Kate's mother, is now somehow Imalkai, or I think like some kind of monster. So that's very interesting and real weird. But it's a nice ending, I guess, because it wants me to want to read more. And those are all my notes for this Savage song. Now I'm gonna wrap up. Talk about what I thought of the book in general. It was pretty good. There were a few typos, and it took a kind of while to get into the book. But like when I got there, and I really enjoyed it. It took me a pretty short time considering, I mean, like, it's a pretty kind of thick book. It's like 400 something pages, but the text isn't even that big on the page. So like, I am still proud of myself. It's like the biggest book I've read in a while, I guess. I'm really excited to read Our Dark Duet. I'll definitely read that. And that'll definitely be the next book I start. Yeah, I love the characters. The characters were great. The plot was fairly interesting, if not, albeit, is that the right word in this case? Albeit a bit confusing in terms of what happened before the book started. I feel like every book that I read, I quote a lot of things from, but this was very good. And again, since I mentioned, I don't mean to flex, but I am a semi-musician, and I loved how there's the incorporation of music in this book, because I haven't read a book with like somebody that plays an instrument in a while. I feel like, yeah. Okay, should I rate it now? I'm gonna rate it now. The last book that I rated, I'm not sure if it'll come out before or after this. I think it's actually gonna come out before, because it's like a shorter video altogether. It's for the Kite Runner, and I rated that 9 out of 10 stars, and I think I'd probably rate this, was it better or worse than the Kite Runner? All those great quotes, but there were some typos. But again, like, the description was actually, like, I enjoyed the description, like, scene-wise, setting-wise, better in this book. I don't think it was that much better, but the title, why do I have to rate it? Okay. I'll rate it, let's say 9.2 things. 9.2 out of 10, let's say. It's not fantastic, but it's not only good either. and it's not only really good either. So I'm gonna do 9.2. I think it's a bit better than the Kite Runner. I probably had a better time, a more fun time reading it than the Kite Runner. Maybe I'll start that in my next video. But thank you so much. This has been a long video, unedited and unedited. It is now 45 minutes and 40 seconds. So this is gonna be real fun to edit. I'm being sarcastic. I'm gonna hate editing this. But I'm real excited, as I said earlier in this video, to read Our Dark Duet. I'll definitely make a video for that. The books that I'm reading right now are The Catcher in the Rye and a book called It's Kind of a Funny Story, written by J.D. Salinger and Ned Vizzini, respectively. Ned Vizzini wrote Be More Chill, which turned into a musical that I enjoy. And The Catcher in the Rye is just like a classic, I guess, kind of. I am about 50% through It's Kind of a Funny Story, which is good. I'm like, I've only read like the first, I think, 5 or 6 chapters of The Catcher in the Rye. So probably the next video I'll film maybe is gonna be for It's Kind of a Funny Story, but that shouldn't be too long, because I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I don't really have that many notes on it. And then The Catcher in the Rye, and then probably after that will be Our Dark Duets video. Thank you so much for watching. Not sure how long this is gonna end up being, but it'll probably be pretty long. So thanks for sticking along. If you sticked around, if you're already gone, why are you here? Whoa, that's profound. It wasn't. Pick up an instrument. Instruments are great. Learn how to play an instrument. It's real fun. I recommend the ukulele. I play the ukulele. I've played it since 2018 maybe. I got it for Christmas. I had like a kind of hiatus from it. Maybe it was 2019. I had a hiatus from it, and then when we got into quarantine, I I learned a lot about playing it. But if you're gonna play an instrument, please do not eat anybody after they use violence against another person.
I don't know what that word is. I said THALSST, but I know that's not right. That towns. I said that, and I have no idea where it is in the book. That's annoying.